continuăm discuția. Iată, vine alături de noi și raportorul pe acest subiect. Here in Strasbourg, in the European Parliament, is Virginijus Sinkevičius. Thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you for having me.
We have discussed a lot about the passenger rights. You are the rapporteur, and now we can look at what Parliament has decided. What are the news?
So it is a really good news because we finally closed the deal on passenger rights. It sounds a little bit as an absurd because the proposal was initially put forward by the Commission 13 years ago. And very often people think, wow, in Europe it takes 13 years to take a decision. Of course, for the majority of time, that proposal was blocked. And we've managed to unblock it with this new parliament, and then in basically a bit less than 2 years conclude the negotiations. And I'm happy, of course, on behalf of the Transport Committee that I was leading those negotiations and managed to find a package that would be acceptable to the Council. So first of all, I'm happy to announce that the compensation regime remains the same. So we've managed to ensure, because Council wanted to decrease the compensations, when the compensations are available, we've managed to defend it. Same goes with extraordinary circumstances list that was long debated, and very often Council wanted things that to me was difficult to comprehend. Because, of course, passengers cannot be responsible for technical failure of the plane and then not being able to receive a compensation. We also, in this for 13 years, aviation in Europe changed. We have seen the growth of Ryanair, Wizz Air, EasyJet and other cheap airlines that also used practices that seem you have a cheap ticket, but then you have all those extra payments. And I'm super happy that now, if you buy a ticket, you can sit together with your family for free.
That's very important for families with kids.
Exactly.
And
even so, our legislation comes into place only from next year summer. Ryanair already announced that they won't be charging families. Then, of course, the hand luggage. So hand luggage now will be included in the price. So you will see the whole sort of price with the hand luggage, also on the intermediaries platforms. And then you will be able to choose, do you want with the hand luggage or excluding the hand luggage? But at least you will have a clarity on the price, so no hidden fees.
So the hand luggage will be the backpack or
no,
the small...
the trolley.
Yeah, okay.
It's a trolley, but it's included in the price.
Because normally it's included only the back package now.
So you will have this one, and I think this is a good step forward. Of course, check-in. So now, if you haven't done the check-in, you can do it at the airport for free, because you know that some of the airlines would be charging people 50, 40 euros for only printing the boarding pass. And usually this is the most vulnerable people. This is the older people who doesn't know about the check-in, who doesn't have apps and etc. And we don't want to force people into apps. Also, with the delay now, so many Europeans, they didn't know that they are eligible for compensation. So now when your flight is delayed or cancelled, you will receive an email saying that you are eligible for compensation, and you will have all the information in that email. So basically, it will be easier, the process to ask for compensation. And also, but
you still have to ask for compensation.
Yes, you have to fill the form. Initial Parliament's proposal was, of course, that you receive a pre-filled form, and basically you just click yes, that I agree, and it's sent automatically. You still will have to fill it in, but I think, again, it immensely helps people to know that such compensation exists and fill in some of your details like name, last name, birth of date, and flight details. I don't think so it's going to be an issue. So much more Europeans will be eligible for the compensation. Finally, of course, the help for the people with disabilities, it's significantly expanded, and especially on the connecting flight. So if you have a connecting flight and you didn't receive a support at the airport, for example, and you missed your next flight, you will be fully compensated. So people with disabilities are better covered. One more thing, which is also, I think, important, many Europeans suffered. So, for example, if you have a ticket from Bucharest to Paris, but you fly through Brussels, and you could not make your flight, but you still managed to get differently to Paris, and in a week you have flight back, your flight back is not cancelled. So you can fly, you can still take your flight. So which was very important, because very often people would have flights, they didn't make it because they were sick that day, but the next day they've traveled by car or by train. And then to come back, they had to buy a new ticket because the return ticket was
automatically canceled.
Yes, it's called no-show, no-show fees.
Exactly.
They are actually canceled. So I think we've managed to achieve some great wins for the Europeans. It's a great news for the summer season, for the holidays. Even so, the legislation comes into place fully next year, but already this year we see the airlines completely changing approach, and we are super happy about it.
What should we do in our countries in order to put everything in place till next year?
Implementation won't be costly because the legislation is already there for 20 more years. So it's about airlines' practices. So of course, it's more of the consumer protection agencies. They will have to monitor airlines' practices, and if they see that airlines' practices are unfair, then they would be reacting. But in general, for people, it's just buying their flights and leaving on time, arriving on time. Nothing changes.
Who will support the costs?
There is no costs. That's the most important thing, that on this legislation, the costs only comes into place if you don't deliver your service. So every European, including me and you, when we buy a ticket, what do we want? We want to leave on time and arrive on time, because we want to see our families, we have business to do, we have agendas. So nobody wants a compensation or staying in the hotel overnight or whatever. Everyone's, when we buy a ticket, we have plans. So everyone wants those plans to be implemented. So that's our deal with the airlines. We pay them money, they get us ticket, and we hope that that ticket delivers. So of course, if airlines will deliver everything, that means no costs. If there is delays, if the flights are cancelled, airlines will have to pay the compensation, and that the cost comes on them, but this is also done as a safeguarding measure for the Europeans. But in general, for the public society, for the society, there is no cost. Because many ask also, so these measures now are going to make tickets more expensive. No, it's not true, because tickets pricing decided on fuel costs, on season, and other things. And this legislation, as I said, was in place already for 20 years, and compensation regimes remain the same. Yes, airlines will lose some on those unfair practices, but you cannot be exploiting parents traveling with children and forcing them to pay 25 euros for each seat for a child. I think, in Europe we want more children, not less, so I think such practices has to be excluded.
So you think that the companies will not include this tax in the new sum that should be paid for the ticket?
No, I don't think so, because, the price is decided by the algorithms, and there are many variables that comes into place. As I said, if you want to fly, I don't know, from Bucharest to Milan, for example, during off-season, the prices are usually low, and the planes are more or less empty. But then when you want to fly to Milan during the season, when it's a holiday, when there is fashion week, you usually see the prices up, and it doesn't matter what sort of regulation. So the seasoning, the fuel costs, these are the key things that determine the price, and of course the availability and the popularity of the flight, but definitely not the possibility for children to sit together with their parents.
What is Council saying about all this?
Council was, of course, in a way, very negative.
So the member states, actually.
Yes, exactly. They were defending very much the airlines line. But I feel that at the end of the day, Council have agreed, and we have to really respect the effort that has been done by the Cypriot presidency to close this file.
It's a file that was long awaited. You've said more than 13 years, unfortunately blocked for maybe 11 years. Now, if we look at the situation, do you feel like there are still some areas that are uncovered that should, I don't know, be part of another file?
So, of course, we need a single sky in Europe. We need to deal with overflying, and this is where airlines are correct, saying that some of the delays that are not caused by them, but for example, if you have meeting or you have protests in France, then it's usually blocked and the air control doesn't work. And then overflying over France is getting super problematic. So I think we need a single sky, and we need to ensure that, of course, there is a right to protest, to demonstrate, but that cannot be restrictive towards the others, European airlines and to European travelers. So we need to ensure that we deepen our single market, and that would also help benefiting the airlines then.
We are seeing a lot of protests in Belgium, for example, on Brussels airport, and you know the effect because you're traveling a lot for work over there. What's your message for those who are watching you right now?
I think we have a great news here to deliver, and I'm super thankful that the Parliament was really united, and that helped me negotiating this deal, which is really delivers to Europeans. So we prove that Europe can deliver good things that may be not noticeable every day, but with that frustration that comes when your flight is late, you know that you're well protected, and this is where Europe delivers.
Thank you so much for this discussion.
Thank you.
Iar vouă, celor de acasă, vă spun să rămâneți pe Antena 3 CNN. Nu uitați că ne revedem și sâmbătă viitoare la 9:30. Cu bine și sănătoși să fim!